Welcome everyone to this week's episode of Unrooted Softball Edition, and my guest for this week's show is none other than senior utility player on the Menlo College softball team, Natalie Dorsey. Natalie, thanks so much for joining me on the show.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Let's start by getting to know you a little bit better. The Oaks have been on the road quite a bit so far to begin 2018, so there have been plenty of bus rides, van rides, you name it. What's your favorite thing to do when riding the bus or the van?
So when riding the bus, I'd say catch up on sleep. But I would say the favorite thing to look forward to is none other Regina. She tends to have some, whether it's accident or not on accident, she always keeps the bus rides fun and entertaining.
So I imagine there's not many opportunities for you to actually take a nap, right?
You know, I'd say most of the time it's like a team consensus when everyone's like, okay, we're sleeping. And then once Regina's up, she literally says, okay, everyone, time to wake up.
Yeah, so she's the ringleader, and she's going to be the one who dictates whether people are sleeping or not.
Yes.
Okay, so if I ever see you and you're tired, I know why, because Regina was keeping you guys up. You've done some catching this year for the first time in your Menlo College career. What is your experience level like catching? When was the last time you did it, and how tough has it been to adjust?
So I've actually never caught before.
Okay.
I'd say the hardest part is, one, blocking. Like, it's just natural instinct not to put your body in front of a ball coming at you.
Yeah.
But I'd say adjusting to the role on the team, just because it is one of the primary or prominent roles in terms of leadership, but with so much going on and thinking about so many different things at once, I'd say it's hard to still have that leadership role. When I'm learning the position, I'm so like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, that I forget that I'm supposed to be still talking to everyone, letting them know what's going on.
How big of a help has it been to have your head coach, Kristen Thompson, be a former catcher to help you guide you through that process?
It's definitely been a help, and then we also have Alyssa, who is injured right now, but she has a lot of catching experience, so between the two of them, with me and Malia, who's also very new to catching, it's been really nice having them. At the same time, they're so advanced and we're so beginner that it's hard to pick things up as quickly as like they're telling us. Yeah. So I'd say adjusting has been difficult, but it's also been kind of fun. Just learn. I mean, it's my senior year, so
for sure, exactly.
Just learn new position.
Yeah, you're just warming up for the 9-position game, right? Yeah. We're going to play every position every inning. Is that what's going to happen?
I don't think so. But I hope not.
You got a ways to go for that to happen. Last year was up and down at times for you, but this season has been literally all up, at least offensively. You're hitting .448 through the team's first 17 games. What's been behind your success to begin the year?
So one big thing for me was coming off of surgery. I had to make sure, because I was behind in fall, having to take time off, that I really worked preparing myself to come back in spring, kind of as if I didn't take the time off. And then the second thing is also being my senior year. I have kind of learned like a new mindset of just literally having a short-term memory. If you have a bad game, it's not the end of the world. And in previous seasons, I definitely let having a bad game affect games moving forward. So I think just, a bad game's going to happen. You can't hit perfect every game. And so just allowing myself to move forward and not really let it affect me too much.
All right, Natalie, let's talk a little bit about the team now. Menlo played 6 more games this past weekend against teams receiving national recognition, be it receiving votes or ranked in the top 25. First of all, how challenging can it be at times to play so many ranked teams in the non-conference portion of your schedule, or do you view it as a positive?
I think it's been a positive. We had some definitely tough games, but we have also competed with them with, one-run games. And so I think it definitely gives us a competitive advantage to play these teams, because also going into conference, we are going to see a lot of tough competition with Vanguard, Hope, and Jessup. So I think in any way it can just benefit us to get us prepared for what we will be seeing and allowing us to compete at that level prior to seeing it.
For
so
sure.
I don't really see it as a disadvantage. It only allows us to compete at a higher level.
For sure. And 3 of the games Menlo dropped this weekend were one-run games, so you're right there. 2 of them walk-offs on the other side. So, like you said, you're coming up and you're facing the challenges head on, and you're doing pretty good against them, but so close yet so far away still. How can these close games that you're dropping prove to be good learning points for the team moving forward, like into this weekend where you face those teams again?
Yeah. So I think we definitely now kind of know where we need to pick up in games that we lost, knowing, okay, this is what we need to prepare for, this is the area we need to work on. I think timely hits is, we can't leave runners on in terms of scoring, like the difference between a one-run ball game, and then just having key moments on defense, not allowing little errors. But other than that, I think that learning-wise, it's brought us closer in terms of knowing where we need to compete at, knowing where we need to be for when we played them. So I think it's going to be a matter of consistency this weekend. Bringing that game, those one-run ball games, bringing that kind of play every time and not allowing us to falter from that.
Yeah. One thing that I still found impressive about these games, that even though there were some tough losses, you guys battled back in a lot of those games.
Yeah.
Down early, came back in the 6th and 7th innings to force a tie game or extra innings. What is it about this team that allows you ladies to still be in it and be competitive no matter what the score is?
I think that we like to perform under pressure. So if you look at a lot of games, we tend to score even in innings with 2 outs. Mm-hmm. We tend to get timely hits with 2 outs, and with that pressure on us, it's, okay, I need to get this done, and I know that I can do it. And then when we don't have the pressure, it's like, we know we can do it, but we don't say like, okay, I have to get this done. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, I want to get this done, but with the pressure, it allows us to like know what needs to be done. And so, we don't like to go out without fighting, so.
Yeah. And next thing, of course, is when you guys start getting base hits and runs with less than 2 outs, then you're just going to be scoring 25 runs a game, and then no one's ever going to beat you.
Yeah, so that's kind of, we are still finding that balance of being able to do that without the pressure situations and making everyone, nervous if what are we going to do? But
exactly. Now that you're doing some catching, you've gotten to learn a little bit more about the arms of the staff and pitchers' tendencies and whatnot. What impresses you most about the staff that Menlo has assembled here for 2018?
So I think we have a good balance between Sarah and Vic, who definitely throw harder, and then Larissa and Jordan, who can keep that offset. And I think most about the pitchers from being behind the plate is their ability to keep composure, because literally umpires will say, oh, that was just half a ball off. That's why I called it a ball. And so for them to be able to continue to just throw what they know how and be able to adapt to whatever the umpire's calling, I think is the most, so I guess mental toughness and not allowing things out of control like errors on the field to affect them, because they can only do so much. So really just being able to keep their composure and, adjust to everything else that's going on around them is the biggest thing.
Now you have the same 3 teams up this weekend, Southern Oregon, Oregon Tech, and Simpson for 6 games this weekend. Is playing in the Bay Area this time around going to be a nice advantage for you guys as opposed to having to travel up north?
Yeah, I definitely think that's an advantage. The biggest thing is traveling. It definitely takes a lot out of you. Sleeping in hotels and then, traveling the time and then playing in the same day, I think especially this weekend. I think being able for everyone just to be relaxed, not have to worry about traveling plus school and all that stuff. I think it'll definitely give everyone a better mindset going into the weekend. So hopefully playing at home will give us a little bit more advantage.
Absolutely. The Oaks are at home on Friday and Sunday. They play technically a home series on Saturday as well at Mission College. All right, Natalie, let's get into the final segment of the show. It's called Brownie Bites. I'm going to ask you 3 off-the-wall questions. You give me your best answers. Question number 1. If a teammate could travel to Mars, who would most likely start a new country there?
So I have to say Jordan Kennedy, just because she does have that adventurous side. Probably one of them more to be willing to do something like that if it were to happen. Yeah, I definitely have to say.
She seems to be a popular answer for anything that's related to adventure.
Yeah.
She does have that inner soul. Question number 2, which teammate is worst to sit next to on a bus? Is it Regina or is it somebody else?
So after kind of getting opinions, I'd have to say Regina. I sit fairly close to her on the bus. She just tends to be a little bit more messy, just not aware of her surroundings all the time. Mm-hmm. So we'd have to say Regina.
Okay, so if I ever go on a bus with you guys, I know to sit up at the front, I'm guessing?
That's your safest.
Stay away?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I won't sit in the back. I don't want to be anywhere near that. Sorry, Regina. Question number 3. Which teammate is the most avid mini golfer?
So my first thought was Brooke Menacini, just because she is all about competition, and I think she'd be up for any kind of competition in that aspect. But I've also heard that Shiggy gets very into mini golf, so we might have to make that a team thing and see who.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And then put Brooke against Brooke.
Yeah, no, those two in competition are definitely, I think it's more entertaining than anything.
I was going to say, if
Yeah.
it's not a good competition, it's at least going to be entertaining,
Yeah.
no matter what it is that they're competing in. Natalie, thank you so much for joining me on the show.
Thank you.
You're welcome, folks. The Menlo College softball team is at home this weekend. They're at home for the first time in, well, quite some time, as a matter of fact. Friday, 9:30 a.m., they have a doubleheader against third-ranked Southern Oregon in the nation. Then on Saturday, they go neutral site, though it is technically a home series for the Oaks, as they take on Oregon Tech on the 24th. That starts at 11 o'clock at Mission College. And then Sunday, back at home again, 18th ranked Simpson University at 12 o'clock out at Wonderlic Field. Come on out. If you can't make it, live stats will be available for all games this weekend and a live stream with myself on the broadcast Sunday against Simpson University. We invite you to tune into next week's show when Natalie Dorsey will select the next interviewee by me, Brian Brownfield, right here on Unrooted Softball Edition. Until then, we'll see you next week. Take care, everybody.
That's right.